End of month, everyone. April 30th, 2026, up $56. Green month. So, April 30th, end of the month, last day of the month. And we managed to snipe. We had actually three very good A type trades today and one test. And our profit per share is 2 cents for the day. And the highest it is on HCAI, which was a very high price stock. We bought it in around 622 right before market opens at 11:30. Only went in with 20 shares. I wanted to go in with more, but I was just too skeptic and too chicken to tell the truth. So, and I was just, the reason I didn't go in with higher quantity is because I wanted to protect myself to the downside. So I wasn't sure that it would climb as much as it did right off a minute and a half off the open. But had I done so, I probably would have gone in with a little over 100 shares. Then the win would have been almost $1, 92 cents actually, which would have been great. But it doesn't really matter. One of the issues with a high price stock is that you're not going to pull out the kind of money that you like. So, 20 shares, and we only pulled out $18, which is about 90 cents. It's nothing you can do. This was a breakout. I saw the breakout coming. I knew it was going to snipe up. So I took it and I banked it. I'm rating this an 8 trade. The test trade we held for a couple of minutes. It was only 10 shares on CANF. This one kept moving and it was doing okay between 330, and then I think it did hit near $4, but I wasn't that crazy about it. And I looked at the level and I saw an opportunity to just snipe, and I took the 11, 12 cents out of it, a C trade, because it wasn't ideal. As far as holding is concerned, CANF only held it for 2 minutes. HCAI, I did hold for 9 minutes because I wanted to wait for the open, and then just let it go. And you'll see in the video how this works out. OSRH took 2 trades on him. I want you to notice the time. This one was at 6:54. So after my 15-minute imposed no trading during the open, and the other one was at 7:13, so almost 20 minutes apart, both for 1,000 shares. And look, they're only a minute holds. They're very, very quick scalps. Look at that, only 2 cents, but on 1,000 shares, $23, and the price was 60 cents. It did eventually go to 76, 77, but at the time that I was trading, 6:52 and 6:54, it did not show that. So had I waited an hour, it may have gone. I think it was closer to 7:30 that it pushed up to 77. This was a happy trade. Again, another breakout based on levels. My technicals, I took the win, and this is an A for me. So we kept watching it. I kept watching it, and later on, like I said, 20 minutes later, it's up to 69 cents, and I decided to go in. I was skeptic about this one, but I thought that it had an opportunity, and as you can see here, 3 cents, only made $13, but oh well. It was still nevertheless an A setup. It didn't really have a breakout. It was already past the breakout. Had I held it for a few 20 minutes more, I could have gotten another 5 cents out of it. But at that point, I was already up, $41. So I didn't need much. So I just took that to get me up above $50. So we're green 100% on the day on 4 different trades. And this is something I haven't done in a while, is take trades on multiple stocks. So Maybe CANF doesn't count, but certainly these are two varying symbols, and one very high priced and one a penny stock. So let's take a look at the calendar, see how we did for April. So in April, monthly P&L is up $274, 77% win ratio, and a profit factor of 1.46. We were green 17 of the 20 days. We really effed up on this one here, on the $210 loss on Tuesday, and we goofed these two up here, but we crawled back and made it back out. And if you look at the weekly, because May 1st, tomorrow will count. We're only $14 off of breaking even for the week. So I'm not gonna cry over that. I think this was positive, and just the fact that we are over $250 in a month makes it worthwhile. And now we got to do the same thing in May and going forward. And let's take a look at the reports. And for the last 30 days, we were down a little bit because of our $200 plus loss. And now we're starting to crawl back up again. We crawled back, 50% from that one. So we lost 210 here. We got 74 and 56, 120, 130, 130. So we're $80 down from Tuesday. So it's not too bad. I'm not going to get $80 Friday, I don't think, tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see. So now as we continue to document our trades, we can continue to see. I think one or two I had them set to pop, which is the same as breakout. And our profit factor is a little low because this includes, I think, the 211. I may have to re-rate that because that wasn't a pop. That was a breakdown. But let's look at 7 days. And yeah, this is the 211 drawdown here, and but we're managing to get closer. So we're within 15, 16 bucks. And for the 90 days, we had a stumble here. We started to move up, then we had a stumble, went below, and now we're recovering. So we're within 50 bucks there. So hopefully by next week, this drawdown will pick up, and hopefully by mid-May, we would have made this number lower, and at least try to get it into the green by end of May. So that's it. Next, you'll look at the videos and actually see the entries and the exits. Okay, so the video from here on till the end is sped up by 150%. So just a warning, in case you blink and you miss a trade, right? So we're watching CANF right off 6 a.m. up on the West Coast at 366. And we decided to take a little plunge here. Only 10 shares. There was no need to go in with any more, and it was just a matter of testing the waters and seeing what was up. The market did not seem like it had much stuff out there. News were falling flat, and I did get up after 5:30, so I didn't get onto the market till a little before 6. Once I had everything set up, and I bought high, and I saw something, but it did keep going down. Finally started to kick up again, and I decided to hold this for a little bit more profit than just a dime or 20 cents. And it wasn't so much about the amount of money. It's about taking that first trade, that first test, and getting your confidence and making sure that what you're watching is truthful, and that the market is going to respond the way you respond. So one of the mistakes I've been doing is that typically on the first trade, I see an opportunity and I get greedy and jump in with a lot of shares. So this time I decided not to. but I saw this coming. And so this was an A trade. It got out at the very top, 378. Yeah, had I got in with a lot more share, would have been very nice. But if it had downturned, it would have been a problem. And again, my gauge for getting out is the top of that BWAP band, or the top band of the BWAP there. Because once the stock reaches typically there and you have some type of resistance, it's an issue. Here we're looking at HCAI, excuse me, which was also making moves. And what I liked about this was the number of buyers versus sellers. It looked good. It didn't look like we had any huge sellers popping in and out or any buyers trying to trick us. And the only thing was that it was awfully high priced, right? So that was the only thing. We had a little pullback here, but it was just a minor amount of volume, and I thought this had an opportunity to hit close to 1190, and that's what my technicals told me and my expert instinct, and I'm no expert, by the way. So here I just wanted it to see a new candle above that red one and went in at 1130. And again, this is so high priced that it makes sense to only go in with a small amount of shares. I thought 10 at first, but then I decided to go with 20. And you can see there on the bottom chart that I put in a sell limit order. And it was around right before 12, 1190, I think, 1192 or something like that. And then I was going to sit and wait for it to get there and sell me out. I wasn't going to get nervous about the money being lost. And I was prepared to say, hey, you know what? If I lose 10, 12 bucks on this one, it should be okay. It's Thursday, end of the month. I'm hoping for green, hoping for a good amount, a little higher than average than we've been doing for the month, to get some of those 211 that we lost on Tuesday. But I was very happy, very content. So there's no FOMO, no anxiety over or greed over trying to get a big result out of a trade. And that is important. You know, you only have a small amount, a small account, so you got to do what you got to do. But the importance was to get a second green day in today in a row again, and make sure that at the top of our mind is the mistakes that we made this month in April. Three days we made huge mistakes that could have been avoided, and but nevertheless, let's not dwell on it. Move forward. I thought that the market would have good opportunities for us today, even though it looks like Nvidia and the SPY were pulling back, and the large caps were a little red. And I think the market's a little nervous because oil continues to go up, and so the folks that have bought the bargains are staying in. Those and nobody else is jumping in. Nobody wants to be the first one to dip in. Here, what I was doing is trying to gauge the amount of percentage that it's been up, and trying to set a destination for it. And obviously, my destination led to $12, but you see that it crossed into the open. Here we are at 6:26 a.m., about less than 4 minutes to go. And so we continue to hold. That little pullback, that little red pullback there would have been a great place to take additional shares, but I wasn't sure what was going to happen at the open. And remember, I'm trying to really stick to a rule not to trade within the first 8 to 15 minutes of the open, because things can get so wild. But I felt that this stock needed to be held. And then, so my thought here was, I've got a sell limit. I'm going to have confidence in that it'll hit there because everything tells me it will. But if in the open it doesn't, I'll just turn it off, and I'll put a stop so that I don't, dip down to $8 and lose $4. And in the meantime, I think that the other stocks had settled down. Folks were not investing in anything else. So the only other stock that I was watching was OSRH. I thought that had an opportunity. It had news, but I was too scared to take it at 50 cents and hold it. So I discarded it right around here. And with less than a minute to go, let's take a look and see what's going to happen. Because right now, my projection, yeah, it's a projection, not prediction. My projection is not turning out to be truth. So, what did I see? How did I know that it was going to go to 12 with that big old green candle there having that tall wick? And I think it's just a matter of experience. You get to watch and look at how the market plays out, how the stocks are responding, how the folks in the market are responding to it, and what's happening exactly at that moment. And this was the only logical choice for anyone who wanted to make a little bit of money. And what I was counting on that was that there were no penny stocks really moving, so people weren't putting their money there. The large caps weren't really doing much, but there has been a market for stocks between $7 to $20 to $30, and here, as it goes into a halt, I sold for $18.40 win. And I wasn't going to hold it again. It probably, I thought it might hit over 12, maybe 13 or 14. But I thought that the choppiness that we got right off of that first red candle off of the open indicated to me that it wasn't going to be, a straight shot up. So I got out, and don't worry, no, we're not going to watch it through the hold. But and if I was so sure that this was going to happen, why didn't I jump in with more shares? It's just a matter of protecting. You have to protect your capital, and sometimes you cannot expect to have huge wins. Sometimes you have to take the small wins, and for that you have to risk less, and you're going to wind up making less. I think I'm close to 3.5% for the day, which is fine. I'm within $3, less than $3 of hitting 2,000 again. So OSRH hits my favorite four candle bar pattern, and I missed it. And by the time I looked, it was already hitting 58 cents. And but as I've been talking in other videos, when this pattern completes, typically it means that the stock is going to falter and fall down. For some reason, when I saw this green bar pick itself back up again, I bought at the top of that bar, which was a little risky. But this is another one where they, interestingly enough, even though they're priced $11 apart, it had the same look. My EMAs showed me the same look, that it had an opportunity and that it had a space to go up high. And there is this, I have a line way up at the top. You can't see it here. It's above 80, I think, for a blue sky pattern, that if it hits that, this stock is going to go high. But I don't think today or this week, the problem is we're not having a jumping market. This was another one where you had to hold it. If you have some conviction about what you're going to do, obviously, if, and there it goes. Then, then you hold through it right off the top there. Boom. I felt that that was it. There was no need to continue on and to set a sell limit at all. I wasn't going to wait for that candle bar pattern to complete and then smash me down, not with 1,000 shares. So it was just quicker to get out. So I already had $18. I'm adding another 23 plus $1.20. It's actually $43 on the day, and actually that was pretty good. But I still had $1,000 in settled funds, and I said, okay, well, I'll continue to pay attention, and I won't trade. I was really determined not to trade again because from here on, excuse me, I started to switch from one stock to another, one to another, etc. Now I'm not showing you those because it doesn't make any point, but basically I was just checking HCAI and CANF. Those were the ones to watch. Um, and in hindsight, I could have held this, but that wasn't my thing. I was gonna enter with small shares. If there was a little bit of a doubt, I was going to exit quickly and take a win and maybe small gains, but over time they add up and I stay green instead of holding for more and then having the trade turn around on you. This is, well, even if it turned around on you, you were already green. Yes, but sometimes those drops can be very violent, and like here, it just in microseconds the price can drop and just go right past your whatever your mental stop was, and you have no chance to get out, and all of a sudden you're down. And again, here it reached, there you go, it reaches the upper VWAP band, and to me I thought, well, I'm not going to chase it here, I think it's done. And so I think I took the first trade on OSRH around 653, and I decided to leave the rest of the video in here. The next trade happens at 7:13, so I got about 15 minutes left of video at 150% speed, so it's not going to take that long. So while we watch it here, and sorry about all those vertical lines, they're obviously resistance and support. And the reason I've started to do that was when you have three lines like I have up there, one right about 70 cents, the other one right before 0.725, the third one above 7.25, it tells me that I see three resistance points all collated together. So it isn't like this stock is going to immediately go through all three of those. What it tells me is that there's strength up there, and so that it is going to face a real uphill battle. And I don't know in this market if it can fly past all the way to 76 cents. So there's my blue line, or cyan line at 76 cents, which I felt that if it crosses that, it can probably stay above that and do really well. So let's check it. Right now is 11:20 on the West Coast. And we'll see what it's doing. Look at that. It's still up at 78 cents and it's trying to continue. Wow. I still have $300. Maybe I should go buy some 300 shares. And there it goes. 79. Taking off, but I'm not going to trade anymore. I'm not going to chase it. I'm happy if others chase it. So here we are. We sped up. Now we're at 712. And we jumped in at 69 cents with 1,000 shares. And again, it falls back down. And I've noticed, I tend to like to have confirmation, and the confirmation comes when typically at the top of a candle. And so if you have to have very clear and positive signals that that the stock has a potential to go higher, because when you buy at the top, you're going to fall back and you're going to see some red. I wasn't as sure of this move, of this trade going up, but I think I believe that I was able to pull a little bit more out. So I think I got $13 more out of this trade. So all those of you watching, thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them down below, good or bad. They're all welcome. So there you see, we got out just a couple of cents below the 72 mark, and before the candle came back down all the way to 69. So it was just a 3 cent, about a 3 cent win, which was enough. And right now it's hitting 80 cents, 80.74. So it's moving, while the market continues to be a little red and a little sluggish. So the market may pick it up later in the day. What is oil at? Yeah, oil has come down a couple of bucks. Crude, New York crude, down to 103. The SPY has climbed to 717. And I'm looking at that to go to 745. I just haven't put a date on it, because the options are pretty cheap. Some options are selling for less than 8 cents, and at least they were yesterday. And Nvidia is just hovering 200. But yeah, the SPY I think is going to go. I was thinking that there's going to be a small pullback. So I continue to watch it here just for giggles. And you see I put that line up there because I thought that from here it would consolidate all the way up to that line and then make a decision as to what it wanted to do, whether it wanted to go up or down. But yet it had strength. People were buying into it, and I think it's because it was the cheapest stock. It was moving, and there wasn't anything else. By this time, HCAI was too volatile, and it had moved down. CANF could not hold, could not climb that 360, 370, all the way up past 4. And the only other one was MRAM, and that was very high price and not moving very much. And so you see my 3 lines of resistance there, and that's what is causing it to. I just started to take the lines off. I take them off because it was having a hard time trying to get up there to 70, right below 74. With 3 lines up there, it was just gonna grind before it could get up there. So you had to have the buyers and sellers. And the one thing I noticed on this one was there were buyers setting themselves up 5 to 6 cents below on the bid with huge amounts. So like you saw these buyers come in with 25,000, but they were 5 cents below, and they before, and when the price dipped down near it, they would pull the order. It wouldn't get filled, and then they let it go back up slightly, 2 or 3 cents, and then they would put it back in again. And what they were doing is playing with our minds, making it look like, oh, look, there's a whole bunch of buyers, let's jump in. So I'm sure these were shorts trying to score big time. The Bears. Wow, 82 cents. That thing's going to go to $1, I think, by the end of the day. But like I said, our month is done. It's green. There's no sense to go back in and do anything else. We got a new month starting tomorrow. We'll worry about tomorrow, what tomorrow comes. And Don't get FOMO. Don't get disappointed over the near misses or the what ifs, because they are the ones that drive your emotions, and they are the ones that get us in trouble. And it's very hard to control. And I'm finding that as the more I've started to trade, the more I trade. Sure, I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, a little bit more careful, but I'm feeling the emotions more as I trade. I get more excited, more adrenaline rushes through me. As what if I could do this? What if I could do that? So, so you got to be careful. You have to manage those emotions, and if they start to overwhelm you, step back, stop trading. You know, you can't lose what you don't gamble. So thank you for watching. We're near the end. We're only going to watch here its behavior, OSHR, through the next couple of minutes. And you'll see that here it finally makes a decision, starts going down, and then decides to come back up again. But it does fall, and I decide I've had it and will not continue trading. So exit, export my trades, and wait for tomorrow. Everyone, have a wonderful day.